Hello and welcome to the demonstration session of DeepSeek R1, where we are going to test for the prompts for decision making with DeepSeek. And we hope DeepSeek will help us to take a decision whether to enroll for the tutorials or not. And for that, first I will attach the document that contains the review comments from the previous students. And at the same time, I will copy my first prompt and I will paste it over here. As you can note, I have already enabled the R1 model for DeepSeek, that is DeepThink R1. Let's give it a go and see how DeepSeek responds. Great. So now DeepSeek has completed its analysis and have produced the output. Let's analyze it. As you see, first it starts to understand the list of all 55 comments. It says, let me go through each one to determine if it's positive, neutral, constructive, which is not necessarily a negative one but suggests improvement or negative. So, what DeepSeek does here is it goes through one by one comments. Comment 1 is so and so, comment 2 it's positive, comment 3 positive, and so on. So, it has investigated all the 55 comments into whether they are positive, neutral, negative, or it's a constructive feedback. And in this way, what happens is it gives an explanation of how it has produced the final result. Earlier, what used to be the model output was finally being presented to us, and we do not know what's going behind the scenes. Now, when you are trying to use models like DeepSeek R1 in regulated industries, where there is a lot of clarification required for every action, these kinds of reasoning will be helpful a lot. Then what it has done is positive comments. Let's count. From 1 to 55, most are positive and 42 of them are positive. And constructive, neutral, and negative, there are total 13. They fall into the category of constructive or neutral or negative. So the percentage of positive is 76%. And roughly 24% they are non-positive, or you can say negative, or that requires improvement and so on. So then further it kind of classifies the positive summary and the negative one or the constructive feedback ones before placing them in the output, model output. Here you can see it says the positive comment summary within 200 words and in a table as we wanted. First, informative, clear, and well structured. Simple language, concise chapters. Engaging, knowledgeable instruction. Thorough and relevant. Useful for skill development. Now let's go to the original document and test some of them. First of all, I will search for, say, informative. I go to this document and let me search as informative. So we have 9 results for informative. It says this is very informative course. Okay, no, this is not the one. So it says useful and informative topics. It says overall it was an informative and well structured session, very informative and detailed. Thank you very much for this insightful and informative course. This course is very informative and so on. That means we can rely on the result delivered by DeepSeek. Now let's go to the constructive feedback summary. Here it says more practical activities are needed, advanced content needed, implementation changes. So let's search for practical activities in the document. practical. Okay. So, what it says, the examples used were practical. Well, this was a positive one, but what we are looking for something on negative one. Missing on practical activities. Is there anything else over there? No. So there are two results for practical. One of them was positive and one of them was negative. So here, similarly, we can test for other constructive feedback summary in the original document. And this is quite good result. And finally, it says the positive review rating is around 76% and negative is around 24%. And again, negative doesn't necessarily mean negative. They could be, you know, that requires improvement, or they are neutral and so on. Then there is a note. There is one negative comment, not worth for money, are minimal 1 out of 55, with most feedback being constructive. That means out of these 33 comments, one of them was completely negative, that says not worth for money, but rest are constructive feedbacks. Now let's go ahead and test with our second prompt. So the second prompt is about, we want to understand the top 5 facts on which the conclusion is based on. It says you want to know the overall student sentiment. So the objective here is to understand the sentiment of the e-learning course, how students feel about it. And when DeepSeek is going to arrive at the sentiment, it's also going to cite the top 5 facts on which the conclusion on the sentiment is based. Let's run it and see. So DeepSeek has completed its analysis and the output is with us on the screen. It says the course is highly recommended for beginners and PV professionals seeking foundational or refresher knowledge in AI applications. While improvements like hands on activities and advanced content could enhance its appeal, the overwhelmingly positive sentiment underscores its effectiveness in delivering clear, relevant, engaging education. Please note that this demonstration was for educational purpose only. If you are using DeepSeek for any real-time application, be it in your personal life or professional business environment, you should be very thoughtful and perform due diligence before taking any decision. Thank you.